You know I've traveled near and far, see the shining sea. I've seen a lot of places, and people that were nice to me. One place that's in my heart, and this is how I feel. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. She's nestled in the sandhills on a river called Cakefield. Special to so many who proudly served our country here. She was named for Lafayette and known for cotton mills. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. My hometown, Fayetteville. I'm so proud to be from here. It don't take long when you're away from home to find out how you feel. It's always good to come home to Fayetteville. Babe Ruth hit his first one, heard around the world. Sherman marched with the Union and burned the arsenal. Old Market House still standing, but stands for freedom's will. I'm talking about my hometown, Fayetteville. My hometown, Fayetteville. I'm so proud to be from here. It don't take long when you're away from home to find out how you feel. It's always good to come home to Fayetteville. My all-American city, Fayetteville. Talking about my hometown, Fayetteville.
Good evening and welcome to the regular Fayetteville City Council meeting of March 27, 2017. I'd like to ask my friend, Reverend Reginald Johnston, if you'd come to the podium, please lead us with an invocation. If the audience would please stand for the invocation, remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes. Let us pray. Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this meeting, this gathering. Thank you for the purpose of bringing us here. I thank you for this mayor and this city council and all the attendees. Father, praying your blessing upon this meeting, praying that you will bless this council, Lord. Give them ears to hear, Lord, and give the people ears to hear, Lord. I pray that you will bless them with knowledge and wisdom and that they will weigh the matters, Lord, with equity and judgment and fairness, Lord. I also pray, Lord, that you will bless them with humility and meekness and also in the face of fear. Bless them with courage and boldness, Lord. Thank you for this meeting tonight. Thank you for your hand being upon this city and all the city officials. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pastor Johnston, tell us what My Father's House ministry does.
Yes, my father's house, Christian Church, is right here in this great city of Fayetteville on Bragg Boulevard. And one of the things that we do, we have an outreach ministry called Capital. And our Capital Outreach Ministry, we have some apartments, and we house guys who get out of prison to help them transition back into society. So we have a program there. We not only house them, but we have a program to help them get back in society. And that's a little bit about my father's house, and we just thank God for that ministry. And we've had much help from the city, much church from help from churches and other people in the community to make this happen. And so we appreciate the city's help, and we appreciate, of course, we're in the district of McDougal, Chalmers McDougal, and he has been a blessing to us, and also some other council members, Councilman Larry Wright, and so our friend Kurt, Councilman Kurt Deviere, and just so many, Mitch Coven, and of course the mayor. But it takes all this for us to help these guys transition back into society. So we appreciate what the city has done with us.
I think Pastor McDougal had a question for you.
Yes, Pastor, not a question, just want to make a comment to say that your ministry has really been a blessing to the community there off Bragg Boulevard and surrounding areas, and we are thanking God for you and what it is that you're doing now.
Well, thank you. We
A lot of
appreciate it.
success stories, too.
Yes.
Very proud. Very
Yes.
proud. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Seth Walford, are you in the audience? Come on up, Mr. Walford. Good. So you are here because of some pretty outstanding things that you are doing in the community, or have done in the community, and I wanted you to tell the council something about Seth Swish and your success that you just recently had.
Hi, my name is Seth Wofford. I'm a student at the Capital Encore Academy, and 3 years ago I started to notice Steve, a homeless man who lives near my school. I talked to my mom about Steve, and we began to help him and spend time with him. I realized that there are a lot more people that need our help. I made a wish that we could help, and now I wish we could help with a tiny home community. My mom can explain how she's helping make my wish come true.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, how amazing is my son? He's pretty cool. There are a lot of people that are under the impression that we have enough programs here to help combat homelessness in our city. And that if the people that are homeless don't take advantage of these programs, that they're choosing to stay on the streets. And that is not true. While Fayetteville has a lot of programs that help combat homelessness, such as emergency shelters and food programs and resume building courses, we are losing the battle when it comes to reintegrating them back into functioning society. Programs that are currently offered for housing require that you gain employment immediately and pay per night. And while this works for some, this leaves a huge group of people literally in the cold. People with mental and physical disabilities, people who are elderly, and people with felony records. A resume building class only gets you so far when you're a high school dropout with a learning disability and a felony record. We need to provide a program that gives the opportunity for someone living on our streets to prove themselves while giving them a safe place to be. And Seth Swish is willing to provide such a program, but we need your help. We're asking the city to work with us so we can secure a location for our program downtown. I actually have some close friends in the audience here at this meeting with us tonight that have become a lot like family to our family. We love each other's children, and we spend holidays, functions, and our day-to-day lives with each other. And they're gonna leave this meeting and walk a block or two away from here and go to sleep on the ground tonight. We need to have a program to help them. They're here to support us like we supported them, and all they want is a program that can help them do that. So I appreciate everybody for honoring Seth. He made an amazing wish, and he's out there with these men and women every day too and sees a need. So I appreciate you guys letting him come up and me come up and speak tonight. We have a meeting with Mr. Devier tomorrow. So I also have these. These are a little bit about the programs we have now and about the programs that we want to do. So I would like these to go out to you guys. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Seth? Seth, I'd like to present you this coin for the work that you do with our homeless. And thank you on behalf of the City of Fayetteville and the Fayetteville City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If the family and Mr. Walter Bishop Drake, Mr. Drake and family, good evening. City of Fayetteville, the Office of the Mayor has a proclamation that reads, stop it. Mr. Drake, the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas Mr. Walter Bishop Drake will be honored by friends and relatives on the occasion of his 104th birthday on March 27th, 2017. Sir. "104 years young." And whereas he was born in Cumberland County, North Carolina on March the 21st, 1913. And whereas during a long and productive lifetime, he has demonstrated in countless ways his dedication to the welfare of others and has earned the respect and affection of people from all walks of life and ages. And whereas he has lived during the most eventful centuries of the world's history, and in his quiet way he has been a force for good and stabilizing influence on those around him. And now this is presented on behalf of the mayor and the Fayetteville City Council and the more than 208,000 citizens, proclaim March the 27th, 2017 to be Walter Bishop Drake Day. Congratulations.
And now, the mayor, Nat Robinson.
Thank you, Councilmember Crisp. Thank you, Council. What I'm about to do, we've only done a handful of times since I've been the mayor. A very distinguished award, and cannot think of anyone that deserves it anymore. And I'll let you hear from Mr. Drake in just a minute. 'Cause he's a fun fella to talk to, I tell you. Mr. Drake, it's my honor on behalf of the Fayetteville City Council to present you this key to the city. Allow me to read it, please. It says, on behalf of the Fayetteville City Council and the residents of Fayetteville, North Carolina, presented to Walter Bishop Drake in grateful recognition of your devoted interest and untiring commitment to your family in the city of Fayetteville for over 104 years. Congratulations, sir.
For all those who came to honor Brother Walter Bishop Drake, please stand for a moment. There you are, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Drake, would you like to say a couple of words?
Good evening, everyone. I must say that I'm happy to be here this afternoon, although I don't hardly know where I am. I was almost born in Fayetteville, but I'm lost here now. I don't know where I am now. I just know I'm in, I hope I'm in Fayetteville. I've been here all my life, and I've served in several wars, but I always came back home to live in Fayetteville. And I'm going to live here, and I'm going to heaven right out of Fayetteville. I love Fayetteville, and I'll be a member of Fayetteville as long as I can remember. I hope God will give me that kind of strength. I'm happy to be here this afternoon again, and I thank you, all of you all, for coming in and celebrating with me this evening. Thank you.
Amen.
Moving right along. Do we have any members of the Eureka Lodge? See several of them.
Please come forward if you're here.
Eureka Lodge number 3. Know a lot of them. Good evening, distinguished gentlemen. A resolution of the Fayetteville City Council has been prepared in recognition of Eureka Lodge number 3, F and AM PHA, whereas Eureka Lodge number 3 is celebrating its 150th year of service, and whereas past Grandmaster Bishop J.W. Hood and past Grandmaster Bishop Thomas H. Lomax established Eureka Lodge number 3 in Fayetteville on March 2, 1867, and whereas Eureka Lodge is influential in educational, civic, political, and religious lives of the residents in Fayetteville, North Carolina, whereas the organization was instrumental in the development of Howard School, which later became State Colored Normal School, now known as Fayetteville State University, and whereas Eureka Lodge continues to be a leader in the community as well as in the state since being organized, and it continues to lead the way. And now, therefore, it's resolved that the City of Fayetteville and the City Council honors Eureka Lodge number 3, F and AM PHA, while it celebrates 150th year.
Good evening, everyone. It's truly an honor to be here and be a great part of this organization, to be in existence that long. But before I go any further, I still would like to say, keep doing what you're doing, Brother Drake. Keep doing what you're doing. And it's an honor to be here today with you, Mayor, and City Council. And we're very proud to be a part of Fayetteville, and hope we be around many more years.
150.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Mayor Pro Tem, can we bounce over to Mr. Reinstein?
Yes, sir. Mr. J. Reinstein.
Well, you do the introductions now.
So I'd like to call up Tracy Broyles, who is the Budget and Evaluation Director, and Kelly Colbreth, the Assistant Director. And they recently received the Distinguished GFOA Award for budget presentations. This is the second year they have received the award. We're very proud of them, and I'd like to have the mayor give you the award.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely. We're always passing on awards for our budgeting team, so if this ever slows down, I'll start to worry. Thank you all so much for doing what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Mayor, I'm going to defer over to Councilmember Devier for the next presentation.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. If we could have the FSU Fayetteville State University men's basketball team and Coach Spencer come forward, up with the mayor.
Basketball is in the air this weekend. That's right. Is there any question about which team we're pulling for?
And Mr. Mayor, while they're gathering, just want to recognize the Fayetteville State men's basketball team had a phenomenal season this year, leading to a title game in the CIAA. So congratulations to them, and we have a certificate of excellence for them. So certificate of excellence is proudly presented to Fayetteville State University's men's basketball team in recognition for their dedication and hard work that led them to the CIAA title game this 27th day of March, 2017. Nat Robertson, Mayor.
Thank you all again. Would you like
First of all, I'd just like to say thank you all. It's an honor and a privilege to be here in front of you all, and a great honor for you all having us here, the City of Fayetteville and the City Council. These young men have worked extremely hard. We were on a roller coaster ride for most of the year, but these guys put the City of Fayetteville and Fayetteville State University on their back for 4 days up in Charlotte, the CIAA tournament, and I think that they brought some recognition and exposure to the City of Fayetteville and Fayetteville State University that is priceless. You know, we're on national TV 5 times this year, and the championship game was broadcast on ESPNU. So that kind of exposure for our university and for our young men is priceless. And I always talk to these guys about leaving a legacy, and these guys that are seniors and are moving on. These guys have left a legacy and left something, a foundation for our program for the future, and we really appreciate everything that you all are doing for us, and we're going to continue to fight and continue to strive, and next year come back with that title in hand. Thank you. We have all our people here, and as they walk off, I could just kind of name them. Mike Tyson is a senior. Willie Gilmore, Will Tibbs, Jason Lee, WWE, Javian McNeil, Isaiah Vincent, Adrian Norwood, Greg Cross, Tyreek McClain, Greg Joyner, Jordan Brown, Jai Rayner, Josh Bryant, Josh Dawson, and our assistant coach here, he played here. He played at Fayetteville State before. Jamel Baxter is one of our assistants. Deshaun McCain is another one of our assistants. Our beautiful athletic trainer, all right, Coach Broughton here. And this is something that we've started here this year at Fayetteville State. He's what we call our character coach. He's Pastor Joe Johnson. He's pastor of In Soul Fellowship Church here in Fayetteville off 71st Road, and he's done an excellent job with our team and just having meetings with our guys and building on their character. So we're trying to touch these guys not only on the court but off the court as well. And at Fayetteville State Athletics, we're just trying to build champions off the court and win championships on the court. Thank you all.
Coach, thank you for what you do.
Hey, Coach, who's the point guard? Who's the point guard, Coach?
Point guard.
Who's the point guard?
Joshua Dawson is our point.
I believe I can take him. All right.
You think you can get it? All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach, for doing what you do. Fayetteville State University is one of our greatest assets in the city, And it's our goal as a city council to make sure that there are jobs for these young men once they graduate. So we work hard on that. Thank you, sir. At this time, I'd like to recognize Councilmember Kathy Jensen to go over one of the great events that happened this weekend in the city of Fayetteville.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start talking about my great event that happened this weekend, I would like to have Jay Reinstein, my partner in crime for the weekend, to come up here with me. This Sunday, Jay and I ran the Mike to Mike half marathon, and it took us a good
3 hours
and 53 minutes.
53 minutes,
And we did it.
right?
No cuss words.
No, we didn't stop talking. It was like a social event for
Yes.
us for 4 hours.
Yes.
But what was quite interesting, out of the 4,000 runners, and I told you I probably shouldn't say this, we finished with, I think there were only 4 people behind us. But we crossed the finish line. We did. And that's what's important. So maybe it was 5 people.
It might have been, but yes, we did it, and but it was a great event. I will tell you, from my personal, it's my second time doing it. We have a family in my district, in our village, as I would call it, that he was killed in combat, and on the 8th mile, his picture was there, and we've got to see that, and I got to get my picture taken with him for the second. So I always say I was running for Brent Cole, and may his memory be eternal. But it is a great event for Fayetteville. Would like to see a lot more city employees out there with us next year, and it's a great time. So thank you for the city for putting it on. It was a great time.
It was great. And thank
It
you,
was great,
Kathy,
and-
for talking to me for 4 hours.
And it goes, and he did talk too. It was equal. It was equal.
was.
It wasn't
Thank
just
you.
me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you both for representing. There were some other folks that were there as well. Our city attorney, Karen McDonald, started the race, and it was nice to see her. I saw a whole bunch of pink shirts walk by, so thank you all for representing. The All-American Marathon is a partnership that we do along with Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg is hoping that this gets deemed the official Army Marathon, so it can bring in people from all over, or it's already bringing in folks from all over the country, but even more exposure as this being recognized as the Army Marathon. So we're awfully proud of Fort Bragg and the heroes that are out there daily. This is a great partnership that we have in order to put on this wonderful event. So, thank you. Dakari, how are you? Good. We've got a member of the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council with us this evening. I went back, and actually the first Youth Council member started with us, I want to say it was August of 2016, and you guys have been joining us for some meetings. And we're glad that we've got you a seat up there. Would you mind telling everybody kind of what the Youth Council is, what is done at the Youth Council, and then a little bit about yourself?
The Youth Council, it's a cross-generational link between the youth and the City Council and County Commissioners of Fayetteville, and we represent Fayetteville on a city, state, and national level through various conferences where we represent. And in February, Fayetteville hosted its own conference in which youth from across the state came to visit us, and we also sent youth delegates to the National League of Cities Convention in D.C. and Pittsburgh this year, and that's what we've been up to this year so far.
Great. What other types of things do you do? What do you do daily? Do you have projects, or do you work on character? I mean, tell us something about what you do at your meetings.
At our meetings, we work on whichever project we have coming up next, such as we did a Next Step Teen Symposium, it was like a job training thing for youth. And right now we're working on our presentations for the State Youth Council Conference, and we did a teen pregnancy awareness thing at our last meeting where we had a speaker come through to us.
Okay. Now tell us something about yourself. You're a senior this year.
Yes, sir.
And what are your future plans?
My future plans, I plan to graduate this June and then start up college at Chapel Hill this August.
UNC Chapel Hill.
Yes, sir.
Right. And you started youth council as a sophomore?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you've been with us 3 years. And what type of impact has youth council made on your life?
I feel like I've changed completely as a person. Like, there was this time, like, in our schools, like, elections, I lost, like, every single time. And, like, developing as a leader through youth council, I became our vice president of the school. I think it's had a huge impact on me as a person.
That's great. Now, where do you go to school?
I go to Pine Forest High School.
How many schools are represented at youth council?
There's about 9 or 10 schools, I think.
Okay, so all the high schools
Yes, sir.
from around town. Well, Takari, welcome, and appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, may I say something?
Mr. Crisp.
I want to speak to the audience just for a moment and tell you this. You'd be amazed at what you see if you go to one of their meetings. You're going to see some kids who've made a transformation. They're well-dressed. Young girls look like young ladies. And the young men, there's no sagging. All right? And they have on neckties and they're clean. And this is one of the best environments in this city for young people. I would encourage you, those that have grandchildren that are of that age, to try and get them involved in this youth council, because this is some of the best hands-on training I've ever seen for young teenagers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. There are a group of Boy Scouts in the back. I'd like to recognize you as well. In fact, if you could send one of your scouts up front, so we can hear what troop you're with. But the youth council is comprised of youth members from every high school, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So freshmen are not invited yet, but want to build the desire for you to join when you're a sophomore. Just a word for you older scouts back there. Ask your guidance counselor at your school or your principal, please, to recommend you to the Fayetteville Cumberland Youth Council. Young man, tell us something about your troop.
We're Troop 82 from Fort Bragg, and we actually this weekend just came back from a camporee on Fort Bragg, and that's for our council, which I believe is Okanichi Council, and that's just the group of scouts in our area. That we went
How long have you been in scouting?
I've been in scouts for about 3 years, I think.
Good. What's your favorite part of scouting?
Probably the camping. It's to go out with other people and have fun. So.
Now, do you get to take your cell phone so you can watch the ball games and stuff? So.
Well, if we do take them, usually we collect them up, so that's not a
Very good.
distraction.
Very good. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Would all the scouts like to stand so we can properly recognize you? Thank you again for joining us. Councilmember Bobby Hurst.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me take this opportunity to the viewing audience and those that are here in the room to thank you so much, the hundreds that have already signed up for our citywide cleanup. It's this Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9:30 will be the distribution site down on Green Street at Cross Creek Park. That's where you get your orange bags, your gloves, your bottled water, and your free T-shirts, safety T-shirts for the children with families that are going alongside the roadsides. Go online, please, online, and click on the online map and pick a street that's green. It'll turn red once you adopt it or register. That way it goes automatically to me and also to the Parks and Rec Department, where they'll know where to send the trucks that afternoon to pick up all the orange bags. So in one day, we can have this city looking beautiful. So let's do it. Sign up today. It's real simple to do. Get your family, your neighbors, civic organization, employees at work. Adopt a street for just this one day, this Saturday, and let's clean up the city. I read the letters to the editor, and the city can do so much, but if you want higher taxes, we'll put more litter crews out there, but we can do it. We can join together, volunteer this Saturday. It's going to be a beautiful Saturday morning, and let's do it. And Mr. Hewitt, I want to say thank you so much for the city of Fayetteville, for the partnership that you and the staff and the departments in teaming up with Fayetteville Beautiful on this. So go online, FayettevilleBeautiful.com. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Hurst. Councilmember Jim Arp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And just want to remind all our citizens that there's a current contest underway to name the baseball team for Fayetteville. The Houston Astros, Mr. David Lane, they put together a naming contest in conjunction with the Fayetteville Observer, And this is your opportunity to pick a great name for the future Fayetteville baseball team. They're currently the Bowie's Creek Astros. Also want to encourage you to come out and support them. They open on the 7th of April. That's the 6th of April. That's a Thursday evening up at Bowie's Creek, and they'll be playing there until we have the opportunity to bring them back down to Fayetteville where they belong. But we need your help. You need to name the team. So come up with a great name for the future Fayetteville baseball team. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Arp. Thank you, Mr. Lane. It's going to be an exciting time in the city of Fayetteville. I'd like to take a moment of privilege and recognize my daughter who's visiting for the evening. Carly, stand up. This is Carly Robertson. She is a first-year law student up at Campbell, and look forward to her supporting her father in not too many more years. Council, at this time, we're on item 5.0.
We have some elected officials here, Mr. Mayor.
Oh. Would like to recognize a couple of guests in the audience before we get onto the agenda. Former County Commissioner Billy King joins us. Welcome, Mr. King. And former Fayetteville City Councilman Johnny Dawkins is here as well. Welcome, Mr. Dawkins. Item 5.0 is the approval of the agenda. Councilmember Art.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Is there a second?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I withdraw my motion. If you would indulge me, I would like to approve the agenda with the amendment of item 9 to reflect, and give me 1 second, 9.02 to reflect 4 different components to it. And those components would be 9.02A, the Consolidated 911 Center, B, the Local Small Disadvantaged Business Enterprise capability, C, the Long-Term Leasing Authority, and D, the Shaw Heights Annexation. Each for individual votes, Mr. Mayor.
All right, there's your motion. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Wright. Any discussion? Seeing none, council, I'll ask for your vote. Madam Clerk, that is 9-1 with Councilmember McDougal voting against. Item 6.0 is the consent agenda. Council, at this time I'll move to you or go to you for action.
May I, Mr. Mayor?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 6.03 for a separate vote and explanation.
Second.
Thank you. That is our motion with an appropriate second. Is there discussion? Seeing none, council, I'll ask for your vote, please. Madam Clerk, that is unanimous. Mayor Pro Tem, 6.03 goes to you.
I think this was a question initiated by Councilmember Chris, just to have Deputy City Manager Bauer kind of explain to the citizens what this is all about.
Thank you, sir. Mayor and Council, what you have before you is a capital project ordinance and a resolution to accept 2 grants to do a new trail connection project, which would do a 3/4 mile trail between the Cape Fear River Trail and the Linear Park Trail. Once that is completed, and then actually there's another segment of the Cape Fear River Trail that needs to be completed under a bridge. But with those 2 completions, we'll actually have 10 miles of trail starting from downtown, heading all the way out to the Jordan Soccer Complex. So this is 2 grants, one provided by the FAMPO, the Fayetteville Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, for a Federal Transportation Alternatives Program grant in the amount of about $160,000, and another grant that was actually brought to us by Senator Meredith through the Department of Transportation for $150,000. These are self-matching programs, so there's no additional city match. It's about $300,000 worth of funding for this trail, which will actually be right behind the Cross Creek wastewater treatment plant, kind of parallel in 301.
Great. We'd like to thank our delegation and Senator Meredith for that. Council, if we're satisfied with the explanation, I'll entertain a motion.
So move, Mr. Mayor. Approve item 6.03 the authorization to accept the 2 grants as described by Deputy City Manager Bauer.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Crisp. Any discussion? Seeing none, council, I'll ask for your vote, please. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Item 7.01 is the annual report from the Fayetteville Redevelopment Commission. I'd like to recognize Mr. Victor Sharp to do the introductions.
Just click there. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I would like to, at this time, introduce to City Council and the Mayor and the members of the public our Fayetteville Redevelopment Commission Chairman, Mr. Stephen Bernard, and he will be giving the annual report of the Fayetteville Redevelopment Commission.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here and serve the citizens in this capacity. The Fayetteville Redevelopment Commission responsibilities are to plan and implement HUD and community development programs, recommend projects and programs to the City Council, supported by the Community Development Department, and advise the City Council on community development issues. Our mission is the Community Development Department is committed to providing quality services and opportunities to citizens in need of decent, safe, and affordable housing, creating positive economic development situations resulting in job opportunities for low to moderate income persons, and the expansion of the tax base. These are some of the HUD programs that we work with, community development block grants, home investment partnership grants. We'll discuss the consolidated plan. Every 5 years, we put together a consolidated plan for development. This is the first of the 2015-2019 consolidated plan. The plan contains goals, measurable objectives, and implement strategies for each of the plan's elements. Annually, an action plan is developed that implements the consolidated plan, describes activities to be funded or implemented during the program year. The annual plan or the 5-year consolidated plan describes description of funds expected to be available in the upcoming year. The 2015-2016 annual action plan is the first, as I said, of the 2019 plan. Focuses on 3 priority goals of decent affordable housing, we'll go over our goals. And let's get to the accomplishments. During the year, 159 owner-occupied houses were repaired, included full rehabilitation and emergency repairs. 12 affordable single-family houses were constructed through Habitat for Humanity. 220 first-time home buyers were assisted with training and counseling through Action Pathways. And 22 blighted houses were demolished throughout the city. And one of the properties acquired for future affordable housing. For homeless assistance programs, the city supported 252 homeless persons with bus passes for family reunification, toiletries, and other supplies. Partnered with Operation Inasmuch Homeless Day Center to help 4,510 persons through the breakfast program. Partnered with True Divine Ministries to support their Hope Center homeless shelter, where 270 homeless women were served by that program. 17 households were assisted with water and sewer assessment fees, and 8 households were assisted with deposits through the utility deposit program. A total of 35 small businesses received loans or matching grants during the program year. We partnered with Seed for small business technical assistance, 880 clients served. Through Section 108 home or loan repayment, 2 payments were made. And the Neighborhood Resource Centers supported 8,185 visits. And of those visits included classrooms and workshops in computer, medical technology, GD, after-school tutoring, life skills, et cetera, to help advance them. And that concludes our report. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Council, are there any questions? I'm sorry I didn't have the lights turned on. Thank you very much. We appreciate what you and the committee do. The commission, excuse me. Council, at this time, we'll move into 8.0, which is the public hearings. There are some rules that I need to make everyone aware of. 15 minutes will be allowed for each side of the issue. I understand we only have one speaker signed up. So we ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. Time used in response to the council will not be counted against you. When you come to the podium, please state your name and address for the record. And I don't think, Mr. Harmon, nobody will need to be sworn in tonight, will they?
We will for this second case.
8.02,
Yep.
right.
And there will be no time limit on that one as well.
Okay.
Just as a reminder.
Because it's a special use permit, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
All right, 8.01, which is the staff-initiated rezoning of the property from single-family 6, which is residential zoning, to O and I, and which is office and institutional conditional, located at 120 Langdon Street, being the property of Family Endeavors. Mr. Harmon?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I won't repeat what the mayor's just read, but just to give you an idea of where we're talking about, and I believe that everybody knows where this property is located. 120 Langdon Street is the former Jubilee home that was built by the ABC program here a few years ago. And initially, what they were looking to do with the home is what Family Endeavors is coming in to do now, to make that home what it was always really meant to be. So what we've got is a rezoning request for this piece of property. Again, it's right here at the kind of corner of Trinity Street. Most of the stuff in that area is low-density residential. Our land use plan, however, does call for medium-density residential on this in this area, all of that orange. And just a few photos of the property. This is looking back down Langdon Street going toward Fayetteville State. The backyard of the property, because there's been no tenant there for the last couple of years, has started to get a bit in disrepair. And that's another reason for hopefully being able to get a new tenant in there as soon as possible. Let me back up one slide here. One thing you can see here, and we'll go into that a little more in the special use permit case, right over here is a parking lot for the church that's just behind the house there. This is a conditional rezoning, and there are a couple of conditions that the owner has agreed to. That the property be rezoned to O&I conditional, that the property will be used for, the only O&I use that the property would be used for would be transitional housing, and that it would be set up by a nationally recognized organization for the benefit of female veterans and their families. The other condition to this is that the rezoning will also allow the owner to use the property for any residential purposes that are currently authorized in the SF6 district that is zoned now. There was a community or neighborhood meeting held for this back on March 2nd before it went to the Zoning Commission. I believe that the summary of that is in your packet, and I believe there were 5 people from the community that came out to it. We had no speakers in opposition that came to the Zoning Commission, and I do not believe that tonight we have any speakers in opposition as well. The Zoning Commission did recommend approval along with staff of this rezoning based on the following: that the only O&I allowed use would be transitional housing. Facility would be operated by a nationally recognized group for the benefit of female veterans and their families. That the property was built as a duplex and basically meets the city's land use plan, which calls for medium-density residential currently. The rezoning provides a service needed in the community in addition to benefiting the property owner. And lastly, that a special use permit will also be required to reduce or waive the separation distance requirements between this use and other group homes within the 1/2 mile of the location. Any questions of staff before we open the public hearing?
I don't see any. Thank you, Mr. Harmon. Madam Clerk, would you call the first speaker?
May we just have one speaker for this item, Miss Tammy Woodard.
Madam Attorney, while Ms. Woodard is coming forward, do you wish to be recognized now or later?
Now, Mayor, but it appears we're having some technical difficulty with my microphone. After conferring with Ms. Jensen, out of abundance of caution, we believe that she has a financial interest and therefore a conflict, and would ask that she be recused from participation in the public hearing and the vote on this matter.
Okay. Thank you. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, per Madam Jensen's request to be recused, I would move that the council do that in light of the information the attorney just shared.
Seconded by Councilmember Wright. Thank you, Ms. Jensen. We'll excuse you. Do we need a vote?
We do.
Okay. All right. Any discussion then on the motion? Seeing none, I'll ask for your vote, Council. That's unanimous by those voting, including Ms. Jensen. Thank you, Ms. Jensen. Ms. Woodard, how are you? Welcome.
I'm fine, thank you all. I have very brief remarks unless there are any questions. I simply want to thank the City of Fayetteville for their support of Family Endeavors, and thank you all for helping us arrive at a place where we can operate this program in a way that meets all the city standards. And just to let you know that we will honor our intent to serve female veterans with their children. And if there are any questions, we're happy to take them. If not, I will take a seat. So thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any questions. Thank you, Ms. Woodard. We'll close that public hearing. Council, I'll go to you for a vote. Councilmember Deviere.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that we approve the rezoning to ONI CZ Office and Institutional Conditional Zoning District with the conditions listed as presented by staff, and that the amendment is consistent with the applicable plans because Goal 4 of the city's strategic plan for 2008 calls for solutions for homelessness, that users surrounding this property are compatible and with the proposed conditions of this rezoning, and the proposed zoning is reasonable in the public interest because the proposed zoning does fit with the character as most of the development in this area, specifically with the character, intent, and previous operations of the existing building.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Wright. Further discussion, Council? Seeing none, I'll ask for your vote. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous by those voting. Councilmember Jensen abstaining. Item 8.02 is the special use permit to allow transitional housing located at 120 Langdon Street and being the property of Family Endeavors. Councilmember Harmon. I just got you into something you don't want to be part of, buddy. Mr. Harmon.
Mr. Mayor, we do need to swear in any of our speakers for this one.
Ms. Woodard, would you come back up and offer yourself for swearing in?
Just raise your right hand. Yeah. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Since this is so similar to the rezoning that we just heard, I won't languish on some of the same points. We know where the property is currently located and what's around it and what our land use plan calls for. With the special use permit, mainly what we are looking at tonight, in the O&I district, it does allow for a reduction in the half-mile reduction or waiver of the half-mile separation distance between a transitional home and other group homes. What you see before you is a map. The subject property is right here again on Langdon Street. There are 3 group homes within that half mile, 2 here on the other side of Ramsey Street, and then one that is a bit to the back of the lot in question. So that's what we're mainly looking at tonight is waiving that separation standard to allow them to operate the transitional housing. Again, we'll just go through fairly quickly the photos from that. There are 3 conditions of approval for this. One, that they maintain the existing privacy and security fences around the property. 2, that no more than 24 residents would live at the facility at one time. That's women and their children. And thirdly, that the facility would be operated by a nationally recognized organization for the benefit of female veterans and their families. The Zoning Commission and staff both have recommended approval of the special use permit. The only use that will be allowed, and that's based on the only use being allowed on this property, would be transitional housing or residential as permitted in the surrounding SF6 district. The facility be operated again by a nationally recognized group for the benefit of female veterans and their families. Property is separated from existing group homes in the area by a major road and privacy and security fencing. And then lastly, that you do grant them a reduction or waiver in the required separation based on the physical barriers between this use and the group homes within a half mile. Are there any questions of staff before we open your public hearing?
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Harmon, I just had one question. I saw
Yes,
that
sir.
one of the specific requirements is that facility be operated by a nationally recognized group. So in the event, I know, not saying anything that I could foresee would ever happen to Family Endeavors, but if they decided to no longer operate this, does this make this voided, or is this nullified?
It doesn't make it voided. What it does is it would take another organization that met that requirement to come in to operate it.
So a local or regional company would not do it. It'd have to be nationally recognized.
If it were regional, it could be a regional that is nationally recognized too,
Gotcha.
but it would have to meet these requirements.
Thank you.
Otherwise, it would have to come back before City Council.
Understood. Thank you.
Councilmember McDougal.
I had the same comment. Matter of fact, it might be that we need to change the language a little bit to say any local, regional, or national organization, but, because in fact there are some good, solid local organizations that could also run this facility or any other facility for that matter and do just as fine a job as any national facility could.
I won't disagree with that. The language that is being used in here was something that came from the city attorney's office to help facilitate this process. So I don't know if the attorney's office has anything to say about that or any comments on it or not.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any other lights. I would like to remind council that the motion to recuse Ms. Jensen is still in place. We're on the same subject, property.
Have we agreed to change that language somehow, or, well, I guess if there's a motion, it would need to be modified.
Well, you haven't opened the public hearing
Oh,
yet.
we're just doing the public hearing? Okay, thank you, sir. Sorry about that. Thank you, Ms. Harmon.
Madam Clerk?
May we have one speaker for this item, Ms. Tammy Woodard?
Hello, I'm here just to take questions, so I am not going to answer that question on the national. That's for you all to decide, but our intent is the same, and we will abide by everything as specified. So, are there any questions for Family Endeavors?
I don't see any lights. Thank you, ma'am.
Right.
Council, I'll go to you for action.
Close.
Public hearing is now closed. Council, now I'll go to you for action. Mr. Deviere.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If it's appropriate, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move to approve the special use permit to locate the transitional housing in an O&I CZ district located at 120 Langdon Street as presented by staff with 3 conditions listed based on the conditions of the standards of the city's development code with a reduction or waiver of the required separation from group homes within 1/2 mile, and that the application is consistent with applicable plans because the development is not located in an O&I district, and that this use complies with the findings listed. And 3, the proposed permit is in the public's interest because the proposed SUP does fit within the character of the area. This special use permit shall become effective 10 days after its approval by the city council. Unless otherwise by the city council, the SUP shall expire 1 year from its effective date of April 6, 2017, if a building permit is not issued within that time frame. It's a long motion, Mr. Mayor. 17.
Okay, seconded by Councilmember Wright. Mr. McDougal.
Offer a friendly amendment to that motion that it include the language that we spoke of earlier, which is that it be any reputable organization, whether local, regional, or national.
Mr. Mayor, or Mr. McDougal, if I can speak back to that, I think the rationality for that was so that if there was a change, it was a nationally recognized organization. It gave us some control because this is, again, an exception. And so any change to that would have to come back to us. So it gives us a little bit more control as a council versus local, regional, or national. So any change to that would have to come back to us. As a special use permit.
All right, there is a motion on the floor. Discussion on the motion, Mayor Pro Tem.
So I don't know where you all left that, whether you were accepting the amendment or not. I think what the concern that I had was that we were not setting the bar to where you excluded possible operators of this, being what we've had. But I do agree that there may need to be some language that redirects if there's a change in ownership back to council. But I'm with them. If you have a regional or state recognized organization, are they excluded? Is this exclusively to, and what does nationally recognized look like? I mean, I didn't see any of that information in the package. Nationally recognized by whom?
Mr. Harmon or Madam Attorney?
Mr. Mayor, while you're waiting on her, I can say I didn't really want to rebuttal him back and forth, fellow councilman, but, that's why I kind of sat silently. But again, they may want to hand it off themselves. And we are quite an active council. I don't want to have to deal with something 2 years from now that I could have already set in motion and made it available to happen for them to hand it off. They may figure out somewhere down the road that it's not economically feasible for them to continue and want to hand it off to a local organization that it would be more feasible, and they could be able to do that fairly easily. And so when you set these parameters where only somebody national can do it, I think that we've set that bar quite high, and that we, who determines? I mean, I never heard of Family Endeavors, really, to be honest with you. I mean, they're nice folk. I enjoy talking with them. But, I mean, they're not national to me because I don't know them until very recently.
Thank you, sir. Did you have an answer to address Mr. McDougall's question?
Yes, I believe so. That just as Councilman Deviere had stated, the way that it's stated in here and in his motion right now, it would take another nationally recognized company similar to this to come in and take over that same special use permit.
Thank you, Mr. Harmon. Mr. Crisp?
Well, my understanding as I get it, and maybe I'm wrong, but this particular special use permit is being tailored with a waiver specifically for Family Endeavors. Now, if that changes, then I expect it to come back to council if it's going to be handed off to somebody else. That's how I see the special use permit. And in this case, it's for Family Endeavors and Family Endeavors only. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crisp. Mr. Arp?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Harmon, can you take the slide back to show the proximity of the other homes? So typically, I would be in agreement with you, Mr. McDougall, but because we're waiving the ordinance, because of the proximity of other homes in the area, this is one that I would specifically want to see come back to the council, because one of the things this council and other councils have been concerned about has been the consolidation of these types of homes in neighborhoods and the effects it has on those neighborhoods. And so for that reason, I would support any change to this regardless. I think it should come back as a special use permit.
Mr. Wright?
Given the nature of steps and stages in the history of this home, and given that we're dealing with female veterans and their families, this special use permit, I think, is necessary to come back to council because of the history of the house previous, and we want to ensure that we have a qualified organization as Family Endeavors and others, if Family Endeavors decide to change later on, to give the council the leverage to ensure that we have someone in there to make sure that this is a success. And so I agree, and that I know Family Endeavors quite well. I've been to their organization. I've been to their presentations. I've spoken to their leaders, and I've seen them in action. So I think that Family Endeavors is no doubt will be able to handle this, but given the safety nets that we're putting in place, I agree that we do need to have this to come back to council if necessary.
Mr. Mayor? I withdraw my argument and my friendly motion and call for previous motion.
Okay, thank you. Council, I'm clearing the board. So the motion by Councilmember Deviere and Councilmember Wright stands. Seeing no further questions, council, I'll ask for your vote. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Council, thank you for your support on this. Congratulations, Ms. Woodard. Continue to do great things out there, please. Item 8.03 is the public hearing regarding the master development agreement with the Prince Charles Hotel. We know them as PCH, and the adoption of the budget ordinance amendment 2017-18. Deputy City Manager Christoph Bauer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have a brief presentation that kind of goes over some statutorily required information that I must share with the public before you act on this. Before you tonight is a master development agreement, which basically encompasses a number of public and private partnership actions where we're working with PCH to acquire properties in the process of building a project, the stadium project. So that we're going through the process real quickly. We'll talk about the property interest, the proposed transaction, timing, and next steps. So recall, we started this master development agreement process. At first, we were talking about mixed-use retail. Now we've changed that pretty dramatically over the last year. Now we're talking about a stadium, $33 million stadium, and about $65 million of private investments. We're bringing this to you in two pieces because of our need for site control for the project. So we don't have the full project, a full partnership fleshed out. There's some issues, important issues that we need to address in the next 30 days, 30 to 60 days. But we needed to move forward now and deal with the property transaction so that we can get site control in place, we can re-subdivide the property, and then move forward with some other steps, including design, permitting, and financing. So the MDA is focused again just on property transactions, and we'll come back to you at a later point with that secondary agreement. Our current deadline for that is before the end of this fiscal year, before June 30th. Now, we had a public hearing notice, which is pretty extensive, that went through all the terms and conditions, the major terms and conditions of the proposed agreement. There are two major changes between that notice and what's before you tonight. We had in there a residential development rights option that has been removed, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And we also had some uncertainty about the sale of the Festival Park Plaza. The terms were that the price was subject to appraisal. We have subsequently received that appraisal and had to make some adjustments based on that appraised value. So the property interest that we're talking about here, we've got Prince Charles lots. There's two lots, a parking and fountain. They're currently over there is 2.5 acres. We've got a garage hotel lot, and this is a future development parcel that's not yet been platted. It's proposed to be about 1 acre on the site, and I've got a diagram of that. We've got the Festival Park Plaza building itself, which we have actually replatted so that the building and its parking are on one lot. And then we also have a Festival Park Plaza development lot. We had originally anticipated in the notice that there would be an option that would have to be executed within the next 120 days or a little bit longer than that, to build residential on top of the proposed stadium. That option, with some research that was done, turned out to be not viable from a financial perspective, so it's been withdrawn. This is the area we're talking about for the Prince Charles lots. The blue lots here are owned by the city already. We've got Maiden Lane in the middle, and the two red lots are the lots that would be acquired by the city. This star represents approximately where home plate would be. And in fact, if any of the members of the council or the public would like to go see where home plate is, it's actually painted on the sidewalk out there, so you can go take a look at home plate.
Is it a gold star, or does it say home plate?
It actually looks like a little white plate. So you can go take your swings now before the audience gets in to watch you. So there's two lots, about 2.5 acres. The appraised value is $2 million. That's about $18.37 per square foot. The agreed price is a bit more than that, a little bit of a premium for that, about 2.5 or 22, about $23 per acre. The garage hotel lot is this square area right here. This is the current schematic design. It is still the schematic design, not the final design, so it might be adjusted slightly, but you can see it's right in that area, and of course that's where home plate is. As I said, it's not yet platted. It's about 1 acre. It's appraised value. It's about $800,000 using the same square footage value in the appraisal for the other two lots. So about $800,000 would be the appraised value. The agreed price is 1.25, or about $425,000, or $450,000 over the appraised value. So a little bit premium on the other, a little bit premium on this one, coming back the other way. Festival Park Plaza building, there's two different lots here. You can see lot 5, which is the building and the parking lot. The green area coming through that parking lot is an access easement, which gets over to lot 6. You can see that the promenade is maintained in the city's ownership, along with the park property around it. So we're just subdividing out the building itself and the parking that serves it. The development lot is about 2.6 acres. It's currently appraised at $160,000. The price is to be determined at the time that the option is exercised. The building itself was appraised at $2.25 million to $4.5 million. And actually the price was discounted on an as-is basis down to 2.25 in the appraisal. And that was a challenge. We actually had a proposed price in the notice that was 4.45 subject to appraisal. The appraisal came in with a much lower value on the current as-is state. So we had a conversation about how to deal with that parking availability issue, and we've come to an agreed price now that is 4.2 plus some parking rental terms. So the city will agree to rent some parking to PCH in order to preserve the value of the building. So the transaction, we'll have a land exchange. We'll purchase the Prince Charles lots for 2.5. We'll vacate Main Lane and replat, and we'll sell the garage lot for 1.25. The timing for that sale of the garage lot is within 30 days of the final design. We need to add that final design, of course, so we can identify the specific area, complete the plat, and then move forward with that transaction. Festival Park Plaza sale will be contingent on the sale of the garage hotel lot, with the sale of the Festival Park Plaza building for $4.2 million, as we talked about before, and the option for development lot at $25,000. So March 28th, it's tomorrow, if council approves this item, we'll go ahead and close on that lot and have that recorded by Wednesday, and we'll execute the purchase contracts and the option. As I just one more mention, two important changes. The residential development rights option has been removed. PCH remains committed to the same level of private investment, so they've taken that private investment from off of the stadium itself, and they've moved it on to the garage lot, so we'll have the hotel and residential in the same development. And the sale of Festival Park Plaza, we've addressed that parking discount. That's a different, also the change from the public hearing. And that's next steps I just went over, and with that, available for any questions or discussion. And of course, this is a public hearing.
I see no lights, Mr. Bauer. Thank you very much. Oh, I see a light. Mr. McDougal.
Christoph, how many square feet are in Festival Park building?
I think that's a question I don't know, actually. I think it's
Well,
about
we proposed at least how many square feet from?
13,333.
And that's,
So
is
I think
that a
that's
whole?
about, we're just over 30,000 square feet in the building.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I actually am. Because at 13,333.
And how much is just over?
Well,
I mean, I want exact square foot. You just gave me an exact figure on what appraisal value is. I'd like to know what the exact square footage is, so that I can appraise what we are appraising the value of. And when I read through the document, I don't think I saw that.
The appraisal is actually attached. It's in here, sir. I can find it for you.
And does it give square footage?
I believe it does.
All right.
44,512.
That's a long ways from 30,000 there. 44K. So when we divide that by, oh, that's okay, I'll do the math. But I'm just curious. Hold on.
The appraisal was attached to your, I can actually read
Yeah,
the summary if you'd like.
I'm good, I got it. Thank you, Chris.
All right, I don't see any further questions. We'll go to our city clerk for public hearing.
Mayor, we have no speakers for this item.
We'll open and close that public hearing. And Mr. Arp?
So at this time, we're not going to have a budget ordinance. Mr. Mayor, if it pleases the council, I would move that the council authorize the city manager to execute the master development agreement with PCH and any junior agreements contemplated therein, and adopt the budget ordinance amendment 2017-18.
Seconded by Mayor Pro Tem. Discussion? Don't see any lights, council. At this time, I'll ask for your vote. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Would like to thank city staff and PCH for all the work you've done putting this package together. Look forward to Look forward to opening night, April 2017. Thank you all. 2019, I'm sorry. I wish it were 2017. 9.01 is the stadium construction manager at risk contract approval. Deputy City Manager Bauer.
Thank you, sir. I have a very brief presentation. Now that we actually have site control, we can actually move forward with the construction process. Before you tonight is a construction manager at risk contract with Barton Mallow. You actually take a look at this back on February 13th. You didn't look at the contract itself, but the actual selection of the CM at risk firm. We do have with us Haley Hassler from Barton Mallow in the audience in case you have a question, like a more detailed one like I got before, and maybe she can get it if I can. RFQ was issued back in January 26th. 3 firms were interviewed by the baseball committee and the city manager. Barton Mallow was selected, and council considered this and authorized us to develop the contract at that time. We've been working on that contract since, and what you have before you is a 2-phase construction contract. You have the pre-construction phase, which is a lump sum fee for about $170,000, and how that's broken down is actually in your packet. It basically covers cost estimation, bidding, value engineering, some of our reach out to subcontractors to meet the council's goals regarding LSDBE and other subcontractor recruitment. In that process, the firm, Barton Mallow, will actually put together what they call a guaranteed maximum price. So they'll bring back an amendment to this contract, which lays out the schedule, all the pricing, and what the price is that they'll guarantee to deliver the stadium for based on the final design at that time. So all that pricing will be identified in the GMP. So tonight, you really, the known number is the $170,000, and that's, as I said, it's a lump sum, and then we'll be bringing back to you that pricing in the GMP once it's been completed. Available for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Bauer, just before I make a motion for council to consider this, I know that I want to congratulate you on your hard work and meeting the council's interest about the local and minority small business portion of it, which was important. So with that being said, I'm going to take the packet that I have at face value, that they understand those are the concerns of council, and I'll move that we approve the awarding or authorize the city manager to award the contract to Barton Mallow for construction manager at risk.
Second.
Yeah, motion by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Councilmember Wright. I see a couple of lights. So, Mr. McDougall, I'll go to you first, and Mr. Crisp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Some of the language in the legislative piece it reads this way. It says the attached proposed agreement is still in draft form. Is that true, or that's just a misprint?
That is true. There are a couple of provisions in the liability and interest and liability issues that we're trying to clarify the language, but that should be cleared up. And we also have some exhibits that were not appropriately labeled, so that'll be done tomorrow.
Well, my second question then is to this council: how can we approve something that's not final? I mean, you know, we talk about it. Are we just approving? Well, maybe I don't know what we're approving then. If we're not approving the agreement with them, and yet the document says that it's not a final document. What scares me, what frightens me, is that we're leaving this up to the city manager to make that final, not this council. And I know it's 108 pages long, but, you know, we're leaving it up to him. That's what it says.
And that was the motion. Yes, sir.
Is that what we want to do?
Mayor Pro Tem, that was your
My
motion.
understanding was that we're going to authorize him to execute, I apologize, that we're going to authorize him the ability to execute the contract with Barton Mallow, which we have not gotten to the pricing point of it yet. So that's a relevant question that Councilmember McDougall had, that once they price this out, will it come back to council, or is this authorizing him to execute it all the way through? Because you have a procedure, if price, we can't connect on the price, that you move to the next person in line, correct?
That's correct. So the next significant step in here is the guaranteed maximum price amendment. That certainly would be a significant amendment to this agreement that I believe should and will come back to council. And so that definitely will come back to council. I think to address Councilmember Councilmember McDougal's concern, we certainly are striving to get you final agreements. The issues that we're looking at are not about price, they're really about insurance terms. We're trying to make sure those are clear. Usually those are things the council does not see. Because
Yeah,
we
that
would
was
actually-
really part of my concern, and that was my next question to you, was really about insurance and bonding and all of that, because she said, once you set this agreement in, and we want to make sure that they do it, but if or something comes up that they didn't see and they want to back out of the deal, how can we be, we want to make sure, and that requires that insurance piece, and that was my other piece that I was gonna.
Yeah, well, that's a key part of what we've been working on for the last month in getting this contract finalized, is making sure that we have appropriate bonding, insurance, and really distribution of liability. So those are key important. That's why we have,
Because
you
without
have a
that, they
legal
could
staff.
come in, take a $33 million contract, spend $33 million and walk away.
Right. Well, and I think that you're really interested in the guaranteed maximum price part of this, which will really be very detailed about the design, the timing. That's much more substantive and material than the issues that are before you tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Crisp.
I have some of the same concerns as Councilmember McDougal. As I read it as a draft. I read all of it down to about the last 12 pages, and then I was tired. So I started kind of scanning from that point on. But there was a couple of things. For example, if this is a draft, you had two things in there that I think were protective clauses, and one was that delays beyond the agreed completion date, that they would be subject, the builder or contractor, to $1,000 a day. And the other part was, excuse me, for each gate, delayed, a $50,000
Penalty, liquidated damages.
Okay, but that's all in draft. Now, what happens when Bart Marlowe says that's unacceptable to us,
Oh,
and
the
you
issues
got me sitting here wanting me to approve a draft?
Yeah,
I got the same concerns as Councilmember McDougal. Why are we not, and I know you got a lot of work to do, but I would just prefer to see the final contract that has been worked out between the city and Barton Marlowe, and that's what we ought to be voting on.
Well,
Now,
sir,
what's
the liquidated
precluding that?
damages are definitely a crucial part, and those have been specifically negotiated. They actually come out of the agreement with the Astros.
Okay.
We're passing that risk as we had proposed when we put the agreement with Astros onto the builder. They are aware of that and have accepted that as a material provision. As I said, the small pieces that we're picking up, and believe me, we had two attorneys working over the weekend on this to make sure we tried to sort of pull it all together. What we're really trying to do is move forward as quickly as we can with a fairly complex contract, but the issues that are currently being finalized are not material to that degree. They are important clarifications regarding, as I said, liability issues, regarding insurance provisions, but not liquidated damages or any of the scope or key terms of the agreement.
So what my question to you is, what are you asking me to approve here tonight?
I'm asking you to authorize the city manager to finalize and execute this document. And as I said, normally, we would have done that at the first step. When you awarded the contract, normally this level of contract does not come back to council. You would have awarded it to Barton Mallow, and that would have authorized the city manager to move forward and execute the contract. In this case, you wanted a higher level of review because of your significant concern regarding the terms relating to local disadvantaged businesses, local minority disadvantaged businesses, and that issue. So we actually are providing a higher level of scrutiny and review in this case than we would normally for construction contracts. We don't normally bring you the entire construction contract. We bring you a bid, and you authorize the contract based on the bid. So you have much more information in this case than you would normally.
Yeah, I hear you on that, and I agree. We have much more information in this case than we normally would have, but it's draft. And that's what bothers me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. We'll go back to the Mayor Pro Tem who's made the original motion.
And I just wanted to clear something up. Yes, we are looking at this at a high level of scrutiny, but the difference too is that you typically don't use the construction manager at risk. Typically, when you're bringing us something, you have the price already calculated. Is that correct?
That's correct. But that you're absolutely true. And you will see that again here. When we come back with the guaranteed maximum price, you'll see the guaranteed maximum price.
Okay, I see no other lights lit for questions, so we'll go back, return to the Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Wright motion, and ask for your vote, Council.
Mr. Mayor, could you restate it? Or Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, if you could restate it.
Give me 1 second there, Councilmember.
He's looking it up. We'll restate the motion.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to restate the motion, I move that we authorize the city manager to execute the CM@R or construction manager at risk contract with Barton Marlow substantially in the forms attached as presented tonight.
That's you, Mr. Wright, had seconded that, and Council, I'll ask for your vote at this time. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Item 9.02. Yeah, let's do that while Mr. Reinstein's preparing the presentation. We'll take a 5-minute break. All right, council, we'll get started in about 30 seconds.
Hi.
All right, council, welcome back to session. We've given Mr. Reinstein a heart attack now. Council, will move to item 9.02, which is council resolutions for legislative priorities in 2017 long session. I'll go to Assistant City Manager Jay Reinstein for a quick introduction.
Great. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. As you're aware, City Council identified several priorities at the delegation breakfast on January 13th. And our local delegation has also agreed to support the following items and resolutions. What they are marked as 9.02A, which is our Consolidated 911 Center, 9.02B, which is our LSDBE, 9.02C, which is Long-Term Leasing Authority, and 9.02D, which is Shaw Heights annexation. I do want to point out that the LSDBE, which is letter B, you all approved a resolution in March 2016. That's already in your packet, so we probably don't need to actually vote for that, but I am going to turn it now over to the mayor, who will go over these individually. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Reinstein. Council, I'll go to you for action.
Mr. Mayor, move that we approve item 9.02A, Consolidated 911 Call Center.
Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Ms. Jensen. Is there discussion on the item, council? Seeing none, I'll ask for your vote. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Council, because it's in the agenda and we've already approved it, I will ask for action on item B as well.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by
Anybody?
Chalmers.
Mr. McDougal. Discussion on the item? Mr. Wright?
Percentage on this? No, or just, it's just a policy? Okay.
All right. Council, seeing no further questions, I'll ask for your vote, please. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Item C is the Long-Term Leasing Authority. Council, I'll go to you for action.
Motion approved, Mr. Mayor.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
That's McDougal. I'll go to Wright on that one. Is there discussion on the Long-Term Leasing Authority, the resolution? Seeing none, council, I'll ask for your vote. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. And D is the resolution supporting the bill for Shaw Heights. I'll go to Mr. Moan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's been a lot of discussion about, the Shaw Heights area known as Shaw Julie Heights for decades. And our local delegation has an initial bill that has been filed. That's all that's happened so far. And they're asking us to support the legislative initiated annexation of the Shaw Heights area through a council resolution. I believe we need to work on the existing draft resolution that's in our agenda packet. And so I'd like to make a motion that we support the intent of House Bill 109 the legislative initiated annexation as an area known as Shaw Heights through a council resolution, and that we appoint a group of council members, small group, to work with me on what I've started along with the staff liaison, probably Mr. Nash, one of the deputy city managers, to craft the final wording of the council resolution. So it's a two-part, all in one, but it has components that we vote to approve the intent of House Bill 109 through a council resolution that needs to be tweaked, needs to be compiled before that resolution moves forward to the General Assembly for their consideration. Is that clear, or does that kind of make sense?
Mr. Moan, I understand it. Question, is there questions in reference to the motion?
Second.
Second.
Councilman Debbie.
Okay, that's Mr. Moan and Councilmember Deviere. Mr. Deviere, you have, are you pushing your light for a second, or you have comments?
Comments.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Moan, I'm not sure if we want to break it into two motions so that we get the clear first one on the supporting the intent, and then the second motion would be to appoint you as the lead along with two other council members and staff liaison to craft the resolution to bring back to council. If you'd accept breaking into two motions?
I accept that friendly amendment.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Actually, may I restate my original motion?
That would be the easiest way, and then we'll go back for unfinished
I
business.
just had a minor amendment I want to offer as well.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Arp.
Yeah, if I may, on the first part, where we support, the term would be to support the intent of House Bill 109. If we could add in accordance with state law, I would be,
I would go that, because whatever the General Assembly comes up with the final bill will become state law, so that will become the new state law, whether there's any changes to the current state law.
in accordance with the current state law.
Is that legal, ma'am?
Whatever the law is going to be, we need to
Right.
make sure we're following the law.
I agree. So, to restate it, I would like to break this into two parts, that we first vote to support the intent of House Bill 109, which is a legislative initiated annexation of the area known as Shaw Heights in accordance with state law.
Can we say in accordance with current state law, whatever the current state law is at the time?
No, because if I say current, that means current as of today
Yeah.
versus state law at the time that the bill actually comes potentially for a House vote, if it even gets out of the House and in the Senate, for a crossover vote. So I would strike the current state law, because now we're locked in time and space as of today.
If you say state law, I'm good. Thank you.
State, but your intent of state law. So that'd be the first part. Would you like to take a motion on that first? Because if that doesn't pass, then we don't need to go to part two.
I'll again second that, Mr. Mayor.
That was, yes, Mr. Deviere, you were the second. Thank you. All right, further discussion on that first part of the motion. Mayor Pro Tem?
Just had a question, Ted. When we saying that we're going to support the intent of HB 109, which is called Shaw Heights, that does not specifically mean that that is the only area that the subcommittee will place into the resolution.
Oh,
I just want to, since
I
you're
would
breaking it up in
say-
two parts, I don't want Part A to take care of what Part B would.
No, and I use the word Shaw Heights because in the, in the bill, the title of the bill, it says Shaw Heights, but there has been some discussion about other donut holes or some other similar type areas that there might be an interest of council to have added into the council's resolution. So, yes, I use Shaw Heights area because that's what's in the current, title of the bill. So, yes.
And I would like to, if the council would approve it, since that would potentially be my district, the Shaw Heights part, to work with you on that.
Oh, sure. However the mayor wants to appoint a couple of us, we'll knock it out. So, okay. Are we crystal clear?
Does anybody need the motion restated, or do we all understand it? Okay, council, no further discussion. At this time, I'll ask for your vote, please. Madam Clerk, that is 7-3. Council members Crisp, Robertson, and Jensen voting against. Those voting in favor: Deviere, Wright, Arp, Colvin, Hurst, McDougal, and Moan.
So now, part two for a separate vote.
Mr. Moan, state that motion.
The second part would be that the mayor appoint a small group of council members, 3 minimum, to work with city staff to come up with the committee's recommended language to the council resolution to be forwarded to our local delegation for consideration.
And again, I would second that, Mr. Mayor, and add that request that Mr. Moan is the chairperson of that committee.
Okay, I sure don't mind appointing members, but Mr. Moan, since you're chairing it, why don't you select those that have been the most vocal with your input on making sure this.
And to be fair, I think Mayor Pro Tem Colvin, since that is pretty much surrounded by his district, or his district surrounds that area, and then I would prefer one of the others, whether it be Councilmember Arp or Councilmember Jensen, who have come out and are, or Councilmember Crisp, who have come out against. So, because I'm one that's for it, as of right now. Councilmember Colvin, he hasn't come out 100% for or against. He's got some decision making, and then 3 others have. Well, we can't count you 2. It has to be a council member. So 4 have come out publicly and said they oppose it. So I'd like a balance.
Well, Mr. Arp just voted for it.
No, I've just a point of clarification.
Right.
I voted for the House bill if it's in accordance with
With the
state
law.
law.
Right.
And state law grants the ability for annexation, and as long as we are in accordance with state law, and the people have an opportunity to voice their position, I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the current, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So as it was presented tonight, the current law is the people have an opportunity to voice their input, and I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
But I would respectfully decline because I'm already on the baseball committee, I'm
Yes,
on the
you
sales
are.
tax committee.
Yes, you are.
and I'm on the Parks and Recs committee, so I would decline for someone else.
How about Mr. Crisp on that committee, since he comes from an area that was recently annexed, that we know as
I think
Phase
that'd be a
5,
good
so,
balance if
yeah.
Mr. Crisp has time.
May I speak?
Yes, sir, Mr. Crisp.
We need to vote on the motion to craft a resolution. And once we approve that, then you appoint the committee, Mr. Mayor. And I don't have a problem with being on that committee.
Great, you're elected. All right, council. I see no further questions. Let's vote on the Moan Deviere second part of this, please. Madam Clerk, that's unanimous. Members of that committee will be Moan, Colvin, and Crisp. Council, there's only one action left.
Motion to adjourn.